SMG, and now excuse me, slipstreams no longer block player building. That means you can build right on up into them and then path right through them. If a player hits a player built structure, it will just plow right on through it like the zip lines. And additionally, from phase 5 onward, both the vertical and horizontal slipstreams will be disabled. We've seen some of the clips, seen how that causes a little bit of chaos and not necessarily the best of gameplay, so those will be turned off.
You know, I was a little choked up too when they vaulted the compact SMG, so I understand. I totally get it there, Sundown. All right, so everyone's getting excited and geared up for today. We actually got some of the reactions of some folks on social media. It's pretty funny ones. There's just one in particular that I just got to highlight because to me this is the most important one on the wall. My nephew really said, quote, "You seen the new John Wick on Fortnite? They even made a movie out of it." Wow. Wow. This is the world we live in. I'm speechless. So, Briss or Christian, my friend, you really, I mean, granted, your nephew's probably a child, so maybe not the best idea to see John Wick 1 and 2, but get him educated. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. But some people are also getting very excited for today. And of course, we'll be cheering you on, hoping for the best. And there's going to be a lot of great games left to come. I think Courage is trying to get on Tfu's duo group there, but I don't think it's going to really work all that well, Jack. Godspeed. And yeah, so a couple other players here reacting to the moment. Once again, best of luck to all the competitors today. We're really looking forward to seeing what you guys do. So let's discuss what you're going to be watching here today. If you've been watching all the other weeks, you know how this thing rolls out. So we're going to start with Oceania and Asia, which have already taken place. Then after that, we're going to start our matches here on the broadcast with Europe, and then we're going to check out Brazil, NA East, and then NA West. Those are going to be your queue times as well. But the format and how it all works out. So 15 through 11 plays gets you 3 points. 10 through 6 gets you an additional 2, making it 5. Then 5 through 2 gets you an additional 2 points, making it 7 total. And if you get the victory royale, you come home with 10 points as well, as each elimination counting for 1 point. These players are also going to be competing for $1 million, as they are each and every week. It's kind of absurd to think about that throughout the last 6 weeks we've given away $6 million. I do basic math, but it is also impressive. And the players are playing for these qualification spots right here. So while the cash is all well and good, it's about making your way to the Fortnite World Cup final in New York City. Europe will get 4 spots. NA East and NA West will get 3 and 1 respectively. Then Asia, Brazil, and Oceania will all come away with 1 spot. But today, it's about qualifying for that opportunity, getting to the point where you can make your way to New York City and join these players that have already punched their ticket to the NYC final. You see a lot of names there that you will recognize, and who knows, it could be you. Best of luck, of course, all the competitors. We're at that midway point here, so either it's time to put up or shut up, and I think that a lot of players are going to look to put up big time. It's going to be a good one here. So let's dive into our first region that had already taken place. It's Oceania. We got Sundown once again here by the giant wall to talk about Oceania and the consistency that we see out of this region.
Yeah, so as we've talked about before, seeing basically the same 5 to 10 names in every single top 10 across the solos and duos. You have Repulse, God, and Cypher taking away that top spot at 144 points. You also have the X2 twins in third at 121. Jordy and his partner Radius with 119. Volks and Partbeat just behind them. Jinx and Shy Shy on there as well. So players we pretty much have seen week in and week out. Also, don't forget, this is just the semifinals, so top 3,000 advance. And then tomorrow, it's all about the top one. You can see Cypher here from that high ground, and particularly during the semifinals for Oceania and in Asia, you'll see a lot of players looking to slay out, looking to kind of press the pace, see how well they can get in there. Because when we talk about these top 5 and 10 players who are on the list every single time, you need to be the best of the best. You need to be getting the eliminations, the placement points, because tomorrow, when it comes down to it, and there's only 1 spot up for grabs, you need every single point. A balanced approach is the only way you're going to New York City.
That's very, very true. And then another region that also has 1 spot up for grabs is Asia. And against Sundown here. You know, just like in Oceania, a lot of players that we've seen on this list time and time again, the KGA crew or the top crew, lots of great duos that have kind of established themselves in their regions and continue to perform incredibly well.
Yeah, a lot of top duos, a lot of names we've seen before. Sexy Boy and his partner, the Meta Boys up here as well. A lot of solo players who've already qualified. You have Takamura, Faxbox, and Banny. Faxbox and Banny trying to get a duo pairing in there as well. So all of these guys, expect to see them on the leaderboard in that top 10 tomorrow. But again, it's all about the singular top spot. And the one thing that's interesting to me in particular when watching the Asia region with kind of the adjustment in terms of the meta is how many of them are carrying rifles versus how many are carrying drum guns. You still see them preferring to go with a lot of those first shot accuracy weapons due to having kind of that propensity to use the rifling skills and looking to hit those high accuracy shots. That being said, the addition of a combat shotgun, these guys make it look like it is a mid-range weapon. So many of the times they're pulling it out on these rotations and hitting shots where I'm like, oh, there's no way a combat shotgun will actually hit somebody from there, and they're hitting 70 damage headshots. So really excited to see what tomorrow looks like.
Yeah, that gun's got a lot of range on it. It's pretty fun to use. So yeah, so there you have it. Oceania as well as the Asian region. Some great games were already had, and we'll see those players again tomorrow. One more time. One spot, just one spot up for grabs, and it's going to be very intense. But now I think we should move on to Europe, right? I don't see a reason why not. Let's go ahead and get some European Fortnite action out there. So to kick things off, your commentary duo, the comedic stylings of Monster D-Face and Balla. Gentlemen, where you at? Where you at? There you are. Okay. I'll let them take it from here.
We are here. Thank you, Golden Boy. And that's right, I'm here with Balla today. Balla, we got the European region, my favorite region. I'm always down to say that off the bat. Yep, that's right. You got to throw it out there. What are you thinking?
Yeah, so I'm excited to see duos with a bunch of the adjustments that have been made. This is the first week we're actually going to see the drum gun in duos. We didn't see it the last time because it just got unvaulted, so it was removed from those playlists. So I'm interested. Europeans, they usually vary it a little bit more. It's semifinals day. People can experiment. So I'm excited to see what they're going to bring to us.
And not only that, we have an awesome patch here. So the current state of the game, right, at an all-time high as far as balance goes. So I am also super stoked to kind of take a look here. And let's see who we're jumping in with. Oh, these guys, you know exactly who we're looking at here. We're looking at E11, Stompy.
Guys, just look in that bottom center of your screen. Look at the elimination counter already. 17 elims on Stompy and 5 on Shinken. What a start to this game. This is only that fifth circle, that half in, half out, and they're already racking up the eliminations.
That is unfair. How do we jump into a game with 17 eliminations and not know the story? to see Stompy up here with 15, and it's still going. That's a knock right there.
Yeah. And look at this
that's
loadout. When you have 18 eliminations, you know the loadout is going to be stacked. He's got the legendary assault rifle, the legendary heavy sniper, and the combat shotgun as well. Plus, probably all the heals that he wants.
I mean, and look at Tachinkin, right? He also has 5 elims, so as a duo pair right now, over 20 eliminations. That's actually nasty. And look at that. Just go ahead, take the wall, make the quick edit. No hesitation there. That's another one for him.
Oh, my goodness. And this is a duo that we've seen week after week just destroy everything. He's going to get... Oh, that was his trap. So it didn't even damage him. So he's just making a fool of a lot of players right now. 20 eliminations and still 25 up. So making the way towards those placement points. But I mean, for them, I guess it doesn't really matter what they're just going for eliminations.
I mean, with that many points, quite clearly they're going to have a good weekend. And that's another wall take right there. And you know what's crazy? This is like a different kind of loadout. Last week we saw a whole lot of tactical shotgun. Now the resurgence of the combat kind of being on the scene here. I wonder if this is going to be the trend of the day here as Stompy's just putting pressure down, showcasing why the heavy sniper has just been the favorite for so long.
And there's no escaping this. Shinken and Stompy coming from both sides on this duo. There's nowhere they can go, and they're getting both shots on both the players at the same time. Really good play there. Really good positioning from Stompy and Shinken so far in this one.
You cannot hide from these boys right here. So with 13 duos remaining in the lobby, about 20 players, plus there goes a nice little rift to go. Up for the high ground they go. It looks like they want to alpha up for this positioning right here, landing on some enemy builds. Now looking to catch at this next elimination. Look, he is on the hunt. He doesn't even wait for his teammate.
What are you guys doing? Your sides are not blocked. Stompy's gonna take advantage of that and take out D2R, but look how split they are, Monster. All the way, Shinken, he's so far away, and they're getting all the eliminations because of it. They have so many opportunities.
That's right, Sweat just got taken right out the lobby there. There goes D2R, who he saw there, got caught off guard, took a 100 to the face, and Stompy, dude, this is pure confidence here, as he is not even near his teammate. He doesn't even care, because he knows he's making it to New York. He's probably gonna re-qualify again here, as he is just dominating at this point. That's fearlessness. You think that him being already qualified for finals plays a big factor in how they play at this point?
No,
they're just out here just stomping, literally.
Absolutely, it does. Hey, no, what's on the line for them right now, especially in semis? They're just getting good practice, like we talked about before we got into the game. Testing their strategies, testing what is going to work. And of course, putting on a show for us too, because it's not stopping. Another one goes down, and another one probably here. And they're so split, Monster. Again, they just continuously are not even next to each other, but they're still playing together, even with the distance.
Yeah, and I know we were highlighting a lot of Stompy, but look, Tashinkin's now in double-digit range as well, as he just pelted that player out the sky as well, which has probably put him up to 10 elims. Oh, Stompy has 27. He just went down, though. Is Tashinkin going to go ahead and clutch up? That's a nice little combat shot. He does have high ground. There's 3 players remaining here, Balla.
Yeah, and now Shinken on high ground. He's by himself, but he needs to find both of these players down below. If he does, that'll be an insane game. I mean, it's already ridiculous, but with the victory royale on top of it, here we go. Now boxing these players up. It looks like it's a duo against Shinken. Can he clutch up? That's the question. Yes, maybe. Just keeping them down below. They're staying so close together, not getting any opportunities. And he does pick one up, so it's now a 1v1. The Storm's going to take him out. And he edits right in front of him. Shinken now. All he has to do is go up on the high ground. He wins the game, but you know he wants this elimination too, starting to block him out a little bit, going up on the high ground. Is he going to be able to find it?
And he's just keeping it absolutely textbook, right? Just not even panicking, goes for that positioning, and there it is, takes out Finn. It's not every day you see a solo at the end clutch up against competitive players in a duo setting.
You know what? But they instilled fear in that lobby. There was 25 players left when we checked in with them, and it just finished in right before the last zone, 8th zone, the beginning of it. So everybody knew, Stompy and Shinken, they're tearing this lobby up. They could see them in the action feed, and so that last duo, they knew what was coming from Shinken.
I just want you guys to know that was 38 eliminations by the monstrous duo right there. That power combo. You can take a look here over on the left-hand side. We are jumping straight into the European action. There's an hour and 16 minutes to queue up.
Yeah.
Right after that, you can no longer queue up. So with the limited amount of games, you want to get every game in that you physically can within that time constraint. And that's a part of the equation too. Time management. And here it is. Ned Zakir getting a nice little knock, taking someone straight out the air. Looks like him and Lithium are off to a good start here with 5 eliminations as a duo.
Yeah. And you talked about, oh, that was so scary to make that edit. You talked about time constraints. That's going to be a huge consideration for a lot of teams that are still on the edge. Talk about like the Solary guys, for example. A lot of teams are ending up running into time crunches and not making it into the last game, and that's going to cost them the qualification spots. But here in the semifinals, most of the players that we know have a chance of qualifying are going to make it through. But it is getting more and more difficult, especially in this European region. The score was already high to qualify for tomorrow, the top 3,000. It's just going to get higher.
Yeah, you talk about difficult. Nadas there stuck with a tough rotation, kind of becoming the focus point of multiple teams in that area. Lost his teammate, as you can see there. He then gets thirsted right afterwards. He tries to rotate to some loot, and that's what happens in these settings. Being offensive can also bite you back if you put yourself in the wrong position. You make enemies with the server.
Yeah. Now hopping in with the South Korean team. WGS guys who did move over to Europe, they're going to take the zip line. Interesting approach here. Break through all the builds.
Love it.
And I love it because look at the bottom right. They're moving right towards the zone. So a straight path there, plus causing havoc for everybody in their way as well.
Ooh, Horde opts to cancel the mini really quickly to see if he can catch a cheeky Elam right there. And he does it again. He's on the hunt here. Can he connect? And that is it. Indigo goes down. That's going to be the shield that he was looking for there. Does get a little bit ticked by the Storm. If he can pop this mini just in time, that'll help out. Bring up some effective shield, and looks like he's not. Instead, he is just going to get that siphon bonus right there. Horde's in this, but he split up from Q. Where's Q?
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering right now. Where are the two? I don't see him at all next to him, but we did see him in the bottom there somewhere. And they are up at 12 eliminations right now, so they're kind of doing their own Stompy and Shinken impression by being split so much. You can see Ku somewhere up above Horde.
Yep, and nice little management of the positioning there. Goes up and over the mountain. Horde's now got another player in his sights here. That guy was on Shadow. He managed to catch him just as he was going through. And that's another box dive there. Venox goes down out through the storm.
Ooh.
102, huge connect right there, Balla.
That was huge, and now he has to get up this mountain right now. You can immediately see that he realizes that and builds right back into the storm because he knows he doesn't want to get boxed out. And now there's
finds a
right
teammate
with Ku. And Yan's in the zone right now, and I think there's 2 players left for them to find, so immediately pressuring the guy in the zone. Yan's still right on the edge.
And Horde actually did a fantastic job, not only recognizing there was a player that he crossed paths with, he blocked him out. And look at that, working together, Horde and Ku go ahead and take out Yantastic from the high ground. And now they're in the most dominant position here, as there is only 1 player left to hunt for this dynamic duo right here.
Yeah, and that's what they're going to do. They're going to break the tree, get a little bit more visibility. They know where he went because there's nobody near them on the mountain, so they know he's ultimate low. They're going to take a little bit of height, but Jeezer actually looks like he's in the shadow right now. He didn't manage to go all the way up. He tried. I
love when these teams just kind of take their time and they play it very textbook. Even though there's 2 of them, they have the health disadvantage here. Or not a huge disadvantage, but they're still weak, right? With Horde being not at max life yet, they're just taking their time here, making sure that when they do pounce in, it's at the most optimal time and they know exactly where their opponent is. They have all the time in the world here to play together to just fish out. I'm Jeezer here in the low ground.
And breaking all the trees, starting the RPG barrage, going to take down all the builds around them. And it's going to be an easy cleanup here, I think, as these wipe them out, flush them out.
That's all you have to do. Just got to work together, slowly working their way down these layers. You don't want to, overhop in, give up any good positioning, and there it is. Now the builds are coming out. Jeezer has been spotted here by this duo. They're now splitting up, focusing their attention to different walls. Whoa, Q actually just got hit.
Yeah. And now they do know where he is. They're going to try to pinch him from both sides, and the Horde does find the top. Oh, it's his edit. I've got to give props here to Jeezer. He's gotten away from them for so long, but there, Ku and Horde are going to pick it up. Finally, after all of that.
I mean, that could have went either way. That's how Fortnite kind of goes, right? You kind of hit yourself with a rocket. Suddenly, you're at the health disadvantage. GG's to Horde kind of clutching up there and pushing on through. That was a nice little end game there. But there's an interesting story behind that team, too, that duo that just took that victory.
Yeah, like I said, the South Korean team, they moved to Europe. A lot of, I think they have 4 players now somewhere in Europe.
Yeah.
And they're competing because I believe there's more slots on the line, so they think they're more comfortable going forward, especially because we see the likes of Stompy and Shinken again are going to probably do well. And we saw last week in solos, especially in NA East, dubs, clicks, all the type of players who've already qualified are getting at the top of the leaderboard, so they kind of they don't have to place as high, as these guys start repeating.
And I find that to be kind of crazy, right? You would think like, oh man, did they get lucky this week? Nope.
Yeah.
They do it every week. Every single week. So here we have Andalex looking to turn those walls to his, using stone there. That's going to keep him at max loot. Nice little RPG pressure coming from the duo up on the left-hand corner here. But Andalex, is he going to be able to push out and get that loot there? Looks like he is inching his way closer and closer.
It's not his
he has the heavy snipe. What's he going to do? That's all he wanted. That's one that's his.
He retakes those stairs, though, and now it's a box fight. He's going to edit out to the side. He doesn't want any part of this. And Monster, I have to ask. Last week, hold on, before that happens, Chero goes down. He's not actually going to be able to edit that wall, I believe. He got stuck behind it. That's the problem when you make those little 3-piece triangle edits. And now Orc also finding himself one onto the alphabet.
Super patient push there by Andalex, too. Notice how he just took his time as he inched forward. He didn't necessarily want to dive in there, so nice, clean composure there.
Yeah. So
he's going to be at 99.
Last week in solos, I think we really saw the Shadow Bomb meta come into effect. Everybody was using it. It kind of felt like it was starting to get even more important than a Rift to go.
Yeah.
And so now that players are getting more and more used to it, this is the 3rd week that we have it. What do you think? Are people going to prioritize that over anything else as mobility?
Absolutely. Rift to Go, as great as it may be to pull you out of any weird situation, especially even more useful when your back's against the wall and you can kind of bail out. 3 options, 3 mobilities, just on an uncommon item is unquestionable when it comes down to rotations in this game. Especially now that when you use a Shadow Bomb, players realize you can save a boatload of mats when you're going for high grounds over the natural terrains especially. But we talk about new and recent items introduced. The bow is putting in crazy work work here as he is getting so many knocks here. Tux
and BloodX up here on high ground. This position, Monster. I mean, talk about it with the combination of the bow. It's definitely hard to get people out the sky when so many players are rifting like we just talked about. But, I mean, this bow on high ground, so powerful.
I think more importantly, though, the tactical assault rifle, also underrated for those high ground, just kind of like pelting away at players because it has such a tight reticule. You actually don't necessarily need to rely on first shot accuracy as much as you do with the heavy AR. So that spam kind of pray and spray, you will get shots on players. It's a nice usage, and it takes light ammo, right? You find yourself in abundance of light ammo at times, especially with how the drum gun chews through all the mediums. So lovely loadout right there. You like to see that kind of stuff. And look at this, flint knock, no shotgun here.
Yeah, the flint knock. Making a bit of resurgence with the pump shotgun vault. Players starting to opt to use that. We'll see if Shutka's gonna be able to get us a nice shot.
That's actually a huge come up on the medium bullets right here. He was desperate. He had no reloads previous to picking up that loot pile. And now it's the double drum gun spray here as the Rift to Go comes out. And you talk about, or we just kind of talked about how the Rift to Go can be used. But look at that. One time, you only get one free rotation, and that's it. They no longer have it, and they're subject to getting shot at when you're in the air. So there's like a lot of cons against it too.
That's the decisions that players are starting to make. Which is going to be more viable? So BloodX and Tux actually lose high ground from their position before with the bow. Now Endelex did lose his partner, or did go down earlier. He's going to make his rotation. Where is he going to choose to go? What is he going to find? He's going to pop some small shields right there, and then he does find somebody. He's gonna try to chase down. No,
he's literally storm riding right now, just kind of coasting with the zone here, taking a good look at his layer, but he's not too safe, right? He doesn't own the upper layer, so his focus is on the lower levels. He does see a duel there. They're hugged up real close against the storm. Doesn't quite get the peek though. Just notice how he's taking his time here. He's in the shadow too of this other team right there, so he's pinched right between two duos.
But
Alex, what you gonna do, buddy?
The one thing that's really good about how slow he's playing, this player recognizes that he was editing and then forgot and backed out, takes one tag, but he's not spending that much materials because look at it, only 8 builds remaining, and all that time we've been watching him, he's only spent a couple. Now choosing to spend a little bit here. And every time he spots a player, he's recognizing where he is. The heavy snap goes in. Is he gonna be able to finish the player? So close. That combat shotgun in close, tight quarters is very difficult to use because it's not like the pump. You don't have the opportunity to one-shot somebody.
Yeah, you also don't have the wide crosshair either, making it a lot more skill-based thing to land your shots with the combat. Nice knock right there, though. That's going to be huge for him. That's going to practically just decimate that duel right there. It's a 1v1 in the low ground now. Seglem going against Finn here, and they practically got a free dub right here. Zaito and Sheikah, who have the high ground.
Yeah, those were the players with that flint knock before. They did take out Tux and BloodX just down below them, and now they take out Seglem, and it's going to be a full-on spray battle onto Finn. Good victory royale there, and 8 elims. It's going to be a nice 18-point game.
With 3 rotations to spare, 3 shadow bombs to spare right there. So this is a good time to kind of do a little call to the community. What do you guys see as the best rotation tool right now? Do you find yourself picking up a Rift? Do you find yourself going shadow bombs over? Use that hashtag Fortnite World Cup. Throw it up on Twitter, throw it up on Instagram so we can see these responses. Or have you ever posed a question to yourself? Maybe this is time to kind of think about that. Reflect on it. Level up your game.
Start to figure out, hey, what would you carry? Another little deeper question, would you carry glider, redeploy, and shadow bombs?
I mean, we've seen that too. It's also scary to see like how redeploys kind of made its way into the game. I think it became, I guess, relevant, especially when players realized I don't have to pull it until like I'm right before I touch the floor, right?
Yeah.
Whereas when it first came out, people were like gliding with it a little too long. They realized, okay, that's not gonna work. So it fell out of the scene. But I want to say, like the South Korean region probably brought it out first. The redeploys, I saw those guys rocking with it as early as the AM that they had.
That's for sure. Now, another versatile weapon there. DK, well, not necessarily super versatile. The infantry rifle.
That one does sting.
Not something that we see too often, but again, you take what you can get. but some players really comfortable with it. It does do a lot of damage, and it's very precise.
Yeah, it definitely rewards the precision aim, and it helps you kind of reel in and conserve your ammunition, right? Because every shot you put down is going to sting, it's going to hurt. You're not going to find yourself running out of medium ammo necessarily too quickly, running a weapon like that. Whoa, that was an RPG. He was about to catch that peak. Notice they did spot the threat immediately, though.
Heard that reload. Someone drops in his box. It's going to be Sudor going down. They're going to immediately claim that loot. You saw Ryu went for the loot, and Until's blocked the top, making sure that he's safe while he collects that little llama there that fell right into him. But he was using that TAC AR right there. Another versatile, well, the most versatile weapon in my eyes.
Yeah.
But the question is, do you take it over a drum gun? Is it starting to be that good?
I think you just got to run it in unison with the drum gun. That way, the drum's doing the pressure down with the medium bullets. But you talking about light ammunition and tactical AR, the minigun making a big resurgence recently on the competitive scene. Players are kind of catching wind of how useful it can be, let's put it like that, under pressure circumstances to get that chip damage in there. So DK here, that's a beast loadout.
That is a very, very beast loadout with the RPG as well. It's going to be something that they can use to take that high ground later on in the game. And depending on when they decide to do it, you can see a lot of players now fighting for that high as they glide in. That first moving zone starting to make its way across.
I love the patience here, too. They're the last on this rotation here. All these other teams rush to the zone. DK and his duo here, Gaming Kuno, they have a free rotation, arguably on this layer. But now it's time to put some pressure upwards as they are fighting against the Storm Bear. Nice little reverse edit, but someone lands behind them. Can he land a shot? DK does connect right away with the combat AR follow-up. It was very nicely done. He does pay the price, though. Heavy storm damage there. Doesn't matter. Sutai goes down to the RPG.
Nice find there with the RPG right on the cone, right as Sutai got really close to it. And now another player's dropping on top of him. This is the issue with fighting on for that high ground this early. So many players go for it, and then they all kind of they just drop it. They say, oh, I don't want high ground anymore, and they're all going to drop on top of you. So you have to be really, really careful about your timing now. Onto Larry, he's looking back in the zone. He's going to find a shadow player. Nice pickup there. Realizing exactly what the opportunity was going to be given to him. That shadow bomb, obviously you can target it, especially the first couple of seconds. Still visible.
Yeah, and that's why you want to make the door, right? Pop the shadow, open the door, and then jump out. When you have that space open like that, you're just subject to getting shot. That's what Larry does there, as he is now left to fend for himself. Low one was, in fact, the one that took out DK there. But over at the highest level, you have D-Will and DJ who are putting down some serious shots. Dinette goes down right there as he gets eliminated, and they are sitting very nice on materials. Another thing about the shadow bombs, you can use it to catch yourself if you fall down.
Yeah, you definitely have to make sure you give yourself space, but here with the RPG, just causing havoc down below, and DJ is actually going to get a little closer with that RPG up on high ground. He's going to open up opportunities here for DJ.
Yep, and that's just the follow-up. Rocket launcher into the drum gun spam here to just kind of crack open builds, expose their opponents here, as everyone is now on the lowest level of the map here. They're congested. Larry's hugged up right next to Steno, ECS, and Ryu. So everyone is now back-to-back here.
And DJ is going to try to take advantage of that, immediately finding himself an angle with the stairs there. Shoot down below. It's actually Larry. He's going to pick up Ryu. They're all fighting each other. But no, DJ falls all the way down below. He's going to need to get right back up to D-Will. Otherwise, it's going to be a tough climb to fight here. And now they're going to pressure this guy.
No
he's
help.
going for fights, though. He's actually going for it. No, he's going to take it out. So it's now D-Will and DJ against Larry down on low ground. But like you said, no help, and it's going across the river. So very difficult to cross. They're both going to start approaching both sides. And it's going to be a miracle indeed. Is he going to find that? Does get the edit, but where did he go? He actually escaped. He took high ground. Larry, the perfect opportunity there. Can you do it? 7 HP. The RPG! No! Just barely misses. They just barely cover their top. Now, D-Will and DJ are actually in the situation where they need to go for this little lagoon dive.
He actually has a fighting chance here with a rocket. Goes underneath, nearly catches him off guard right there. What a wonderful end game there for Larry, kind of making it a lot closer than what it needed to be. But with that, we're going to send it over to Golden Boy over on the floor with Sundown. What you got for us, bud?
Some crazy starts over here, folks, as expected in the European region, but let's dive into some of the deeper details. Here we got Sundown standing by. Sundown, what do you have for me, bud?
Thank you so much, Golden Boy. So one thing I want to take a look at is how you end up getting here. So we're going to look at Stompy and Tashinkin. These is definitively the top duo coming out of Europe. And don't forget, every single week so far in the semifinals, last week it took 61 points in 2 victory royales to push yourselves through. So if you're in that top 300 and getting into the Champion League, watch these guys. That's how you make it to the next level. You do things like this. You work together with your partner. You're making sure you cover every single angle. You can see here, while Tashinkin is covering the high side, Stompy is covering the other side, and this gives them 2 different firing ranges down, and this is what enables them to put up those ridiculous elimination numbers. You see them already sitting on 30 eliminations with still 12 more players in the lobby. And most importantly, when you work from the high ground, you're able to then work top down. And that means you choose when engagement happens, and players who are forced to work up to you are then put in a vulnerable position. Unfortunately, Stompy gets a little over-eager, gets caught doubling down, but then Tashinkin clutches it out. So now it's a 1v2 situation. He gets the first down onto Teach and then maintains his high ground. Only has the 22 builds, chips out the other player, and then recognizes it while he's continuing to cover himself. Keep track of that build counter. 6 left, 4, 3, 2. That was his very last build to get himself over the edge, and then turns back, recognizes the other player isn't there.
Wow.
Picks up the elim onto Finn and just brilliantly executed coming out of the E11 duo. I mean, this is the pair. These are the players you need to be watching if you want to advance going through.
Yeah, that is some impressive stuff there from the E11 crew. Way to go. But now let's see the standings and where we are right now, as we are at the, I would say, around mid-ish point, sort of, in the EU side. So here you are. No surprise, Tashinkin and Stompy up at the top. Mongro and Mitro, another dominant duo. They're going to be sitting at second place there as well. And then, of course, more faces that we'd recognize here, such as Osmo and Milan, Frexy, Letwick, great players across the board here. No shocker, but 101 points. And Tashinkin and Stompy have 4 games remaining. That is absurd, man. That is crazy.
Just a
That's impressive.